It is time for an unboxing. Oh, it's big. It is a return of the Milwaukee Leather Biker Jacket. I had reviewed this jacket really briefly as a comparison from cheap to expensive biker jackets. And in the video, I really kind of took a quick look at the Milwaukee Leather Jacket and compared it to a shot biker jacket, the 618 Perfecto that I have. And I want to come back to this jacket with kind of fresh eyes, so to speak. That review has been up for a few years. I've gotten lots and lots of comments about it. I've had folks that have bought the jacket and reached out directly to me via messages and emails. And I just felt it was worth returning to. I very often get asked to review cheap leather jackets, less expensive leather jackets. And to me, this is the kind of cheap leather jacket, the core cheap leather jacket. It's available on Amazon. It is number 16 in power sports protective outerwear or whatever the category is. And it is the first leather jacket on that list on Amazon. So clearly this is a jacket that a lot of people are buying when they're looking to get a cheap biker jacket. And I think it's worth returning to it. So that's what we're doing in this video. I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to take a look at it. You'll see my reaction as it's happening, and we're going to put it on. I will say, I did learn a lesson from that video a long time ago, which is that the medium, my typical size, was too big. So I opted for the small. Hopefully it fits. And we'll just see how it goes. So let's get to it, shall we? So if you are not familiar, this Milwaukee Leather Jacket is not made in Milwaukee. I felt that to be kind of a deceptive naming. I don't know. It may have been a brand that made jackets in Milwaukee at some point in the past, but has been some time since that was true. Let's open it. This is a made in Pakistan leather jacket, or I guess we'll look at the label and see if that's still true. You know, it's actually in a bag, which I don't remember from the first time around. That was an easy opening, I guess, to be expected from Amazon packaging. All right. So on Amazon, if you're looking at this jacket, it's style SH-1011. I'll put the link in the description below if you're looking at this jacket and still are interested. And trying to see if there's an easy way to open this without damaging the packaging. Looks like it's just taped closed. Open sesame. And trying to be kind to this packaging here. Oh, it's actually stapled shut. Okay, well, didn't see the staples at first. Get this bad boy out the bag. You know, it's funny. The packaging is a little bit better than the first time I got it, which, as I recall, may have just been straight up the bag, the jacket in a box, and really nothing much else. Maybe some paper. Save all this. Yeah. All right, okay. If I'm gonna try this jacket on, I'm gonna have to move some of this paper and stuff out the way, but this is the jacket out the box. It is a very pebbly, feels like it almost certainly has to be a corrected grain leather, but little information is available about it. It's a very soft, pliable leather. I found this to be the case like with the Master Supply Co. cowhide. That was, even though it was thick and like relatively heavy from a weight standpoint, very soft, very deer skinny almost. This buckle protection poses a question for me, so I'm gonna have to take it easy on that. Oh, I see, it's taped. Let's get that off of there. Gently now. Come on, Dell. All right. We are saving this. We're saving all of these little papers. We will keep the tags on in case. Open up. Some notes about the design on this jacket while I have it in this pre-position. It's got the belt. It's got a roller buckle, which I find kind of interesting. That's not really something I really associate with most biker jacket styles. Typically, this isn't a roller, but there's nothing wrong with that. Classic biker style with 2 hand warmer pockets, a slash chest pocket, and a ticket pocket down here, a coin pocket. Branded labels. Let's look at the back. This is also a jacket that has lace-up sides. Not a feature I personally use very often, but can be good for folks if you're finding that your weight changes a lot over the year, or your layering requirements change a lot during the year to allow more space in the jacket. It is intended for versatility, although it does add kind of more complication to the look, as you can see. Some people like that, some people don't. Let's open this up. I will say, I feel like part of the reason I am returning to this jacket is that I watched the video that I made about it a couple years ago, and I wonder if I was not as fair to it as I could have been after being kind of taken aback by the feeling deceived by the label. Milwaukee Leather, not made in Milwaukee. It is a division of Schaff International. It has a zip out liner here. Hard to tell how much warmth this conveys. It is very thin. Trying to find the made in tag. From memory, it was made in Pakistan or Turkey. Oh, here we go. Genuine leather. The lining is 100% polyester. And let's see, does it say where you were made? Made in Pakistan, yeah. So this jacket's made in Pakistan according to the tag here. I will tell you what my thought has been about the price point on this jacket as I am going to put it on. So let's do that next. All right, so here we have the jacket. You know, since I reviewed this jacket, we're going to put it on. I have reviewed quite a few other jackets. I've had a lot more experience with jackets over time, and I, of course, have looked at and seen a lot of other inexpensive leather jackets come to market. And you know what is kind of striking to me about this jacket? The price point. It's just $140 now. It was $130 when I first reviewed it a few years ago. Okay, if you compare this to the first time I reviewed this jacket, I took my typical size, which is a medium in most US jackets. I'm 5'9", 175 pounds. I have a 40.5 inch chest. Been very consistent with those measurements over time. And as you can see, this small actually fits me like I would expect a jacket to fit, like in my preferred way for a jacket to fit. I'm gonna zip it up. Previously, I had reviewed a medium, which is my typical size, and that may have been part of the reason I had the reaction I had to it, which was not the most positive. I will say also in my previous review, I had the idea of costumery. I basically called it like a costume jacket. And I thought, you know, over time I have really thought about the idea of costumery, and I don't think that's a fair assertion to make about most garments. So I really stay away from that. It's a kind of criticism that I personally don't hold with very well. All right, so talking fit, sizing down here actually fits me quite well. Fits like a trim 40 or medium. The sleeves are long. I think this is a fairly typical biker jacket thing. Also, if you're mass producing jackets, which clearly is happening with these, having sleeves that are too long allows you to fit more folks than sleeves that are too short. So I get that, I get that. The jacket also feels a little long in the body. My belt ends here, and it goes a fair bit past it, but not too far past it. I can't see because I'm showing you my back, but I wonder how it looks if it's bunching. That does happen sometimes, although with softer leather like this, maybe not. All right, some squirrels are so crazy in the trees up there. So, feels decent on. I'm going to try to get closer so I can see some of the detail on it. Just kind of trying to show the leather a little bit with the light here. This is not a fancy cowhide. But, you know, it's not super awful either. Very, very corrected grain vibes here. You know, looking over the stitch work and everything, it's okay. It's interesting to me that the cuff work is a little uneven around, which is very obvious. It feels almost like a different, it's almost certainly the same weight of thread, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not great. I'd say like a notch below like Vanson and Schott and those other kind of standard American makers. Just looking at what I can see here, the work around the pockets is a little rough with more loose bits and ends. You know, but curious about your take on it here. I'm feeling, looking with fresh eyes, and the thought that has been in my mind is this Milwaukee Leather Jacket is one of the most honestly priced made in Pakistan leather jackets that is available. I honestly appreciate that as a made in Pakistan jacket, they're presenting it as an inexpensive option. The price has remained extremely steady without any kind of bloviating about honest price guarantee or any of that kind of stuff that you see from Thursday, for example, where they try to make a really big deal about their pricing being low, but then their version of a jacket costs like $300 instead of $140, you know. And I am, in that way, impressed, honestly, wearing it again. You know, the leather isn't beautiful like the high-end stuff that I often wear. The construction is okay. You know, the arms, people like to talk about arms and articulation and stuff like that whenever they're talking about jackets, and how cheap jackets from Pakistan, for example, they'll say it has like, those sleeves look like chimney stacks or something like that, where they're just kind of tubes. And to a certain extent, those criticisms exist here validly, but also the price. The jacket is at the very low end of the price spectrum. And I think at that point that it is, which is entry level, it basically, you're paying about what you would expect to pay without the like marketing budget nonsense that increases the price of a jacket like this to $300 or $350 or whatever. So in that sense, kudos to the Milwaukee Leather guys. Words I, you know, back in the day never thought I would say. I do want to kind of shout out the folks that have commented on the video over time and kept the interest in the video going, and kind of in a way also bringing my attention back to it, because I think it's been an interesting flashpoint that I wasn't expecting when I originally made the video, about comparing this Milwaukee leather jacket to a Schott leather jacket. Do I still think the Schott leather jacket is better? I do. Do I think Vanson leather jackets are better? I do. I think especially if you're looking to move up in quality from a jacket like this, buying a Schott or Vanson, or especially a used Schott or Vanson, which is hard to find those jackets at the price you pay for this, like $130 or whatever. But if you're looking to spend $300 or $400, you often can find, especially Vanson at that price range. And if you spend a little bit more, you can find Schott in the used market. You know, if you're looking to buy new, you know, Schott and Vanson, like Vanson in particular, you can start getting really great models from them like the Comet and the Maverick for around $600 or even $550 during the times that they do sales. So just thinking about those comparison points, you know, there's a lot of makers in the space between there. Obviously Thursday, who I mentioned. There's also Master Supply Co., Rugged West, all of the jackets out of China that people talk about, Crush on Retro, and the brands that they're selling. So I haven't reviewed all those things, but there is space in between there where you basically iterate paying a little more for a jacket like this with better designs and possibly better materials. So that's it for this unboxing. I think getting the proper size in this jacket is important. Don't forget to size down unless you plan to wear a lot of layers. And I'll be doing some more comparison style videos and looking at this specific jacket in the coming weeks.